Now, at least 19 people are dead and dozens are injured after a violent protests in Nepal.
What began as outrage over government-imposed social media ban has erupted into a massive anti-corruption movement, prompting the resignation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli.
Now, Kathmandu's main international airport has been shut down. Fires and clashes around its perimeter endangered flights, while a department store was set on fire at Bhatbhateni. According to local media, 3 police officers stationed at Koteshwor were brutally killed by protesters after they had already surrendered. The political crisis has prompted the Nepali army to step in to maintain order and safeguard the nation.
The protests are led largely by the country's youth against corruption, nepotism and economic stagnation. Army Chief General Ashok Raj Segdel is appealing for peace and dialogue, urging groups involved in the protest to call it off and engage in a conversation.
During the protest, there was a significant loss of life and property. It is now our shared responsibility to prevent further damage and foster a harmonious environment of peace and security to preserve national unity.
And UN Human Rights Chief said that he is appalled by the escalating violence on ground, urging authorities to protect the right to peaceful protest and calling for investigation into the deadly crackdown.
I'm appalled by the escalating violence in Nepal that has resulted in multiple deaths and the injury of hundreds of mostly young protesters, as well as the widespread destruction of property. I plead with security forces to exercise utmost restraint and to avoid further such bloodshed and harm.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres echoed the call, urging Nepalese authorities to show restraint and seek a constructive path forward.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called for peace in the neighbouring nation while terming the violence heart-rending and stressing Nepal's stability as vital to the region.
For more on this, we're now being joined by our correspondent Saloni Murarka from Kathmandu on the phone line. Saloni, thank you so much for joining us. We did have conversations about this yesterday as well, just as and when things were unfolding. What can you tell us about the situation on ground today? Where do things stand right now?
Well, Nepal army has come down on the grounds. They have tightened the security checks at the main intersections of Kathmandu. The curfew remains in effect until further notice. And over the night, Nepal army has also arrested over 20 individuals for looting and vandalizing properties overnight. And the army has emphasized that it initiated this action after certain groups hijacked the peaceful protest movement and began carrying out unlawful acts. And at the same time, it has urged the public to remain vigilant and actively support efforts to maintain law and order. And meanwhile, the Kathmandu International Airport has also announced that the flights have been suspended till noon due to the escalating security concerns. And many countries we know, like India and Israel, have also issued travel advisory for the people and urged avoiding travel to Nepal. Many of the experts as well I was speaking to have also raised concerns about the tourist season that is just approaching, and they're concerned that it could be disrupted and have also appealed for an immediate resolution. But what really stands here is that the country is at a standstill at the moment. It is staring at an uncertain future. And after the army deployed on the ground, the situation has calmed down since yesterday. And however, we do not have much of the protesters. Yes, we do not have the protesters on the ground at the moment. The arrest has been ongoing, and little law and order is being maintained. And many of the political leaders have come out, appealed to the protesters to continue the dialogues. And the army chief, the president, will continue the dialogues with Gen Z's representative today as well.
All right, Saloni, thanks so much for getting us the latest on that. You've pretty much covered it all. There will be more to discuss going forward. That was Saloni Murarka bringing us the latest from Kathmandu.